land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the songs of all my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers and the way to rise beyond the pain all live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. And the smiles of all the unborn children and the dreams of a better day to come and the dance of heaven with the earth all live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. Red land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am all that I am. All right, lovely, awesome, guys.
Good morning. My name is Bruce Crack, and I'm your trustee today. On behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees and the practitioners, we'd like to welcome you to the Sonoran Desert Center of Spiritual Living. Whoever you are or wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all you are meant to be. The vision statement, which I really do like, is love in action every day in every way. Just start your day with that. Just love and see what happens. It's beautiful. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of the program, you'll find the declarations of principles. Please join me in reading them. I believe there's an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. So do we have any first-timers here today? One? Okay. Would you like to stand up and introduce yourself? If you like.
Hi, I'm Dr. St.
Claire. Well, welcome.
And I've been going to the
Oh, okay. Oh, well, thank you. Stay afterwards, and we'll spend and get to know you with the break time. It would be great. Anybody else? I thought she's been here before. No? That's okay. All right. I'd like to thank all the people that made this Sunday celebration possible. That's everybody here. If it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a celebration to start with. So that's very important. I'd like to thank the people that make it extra special, like the musician, the soundboard, and the people that work in the kitchen. They make it really they add a lot to it. So I'd like to thank everyone that's involved. Okay. There's a lot going on. You just don't see it. Okay. Please direct your attention to the announcements in the magazine.
If you are joining us for the first time, the words for our Namaste song are inside the first page of your bulletin, where the God in me acknowledges, recognizes, and loves the God in you, and we are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Louise Riley, and I am your practitioner today. And as a religious science practitioner, we pray for those who request prayer, and we would love it if you would put a prayer request in our box so we can pray for you today. And it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody's hurt or ill. If you just want prayer for a great week, we'd love to pray for you. And we do our prayer. It's an affirmative prayer, and we assist you in making changes in your life by changing your consciousness through our prayers and holding the high watch for you. So I light the service candle, knowing that you each have a light within you and that we all hold the high watch today. And so if you'd like to close your eyes or just get comfortable, if you'd like, please take a deep breath and know within yourself the true depths of the one that we call Spirit, the one that we call God. Know that the strength of Spirit within each of us is sufficient, that the spirit of man and God is within each of us. The power of God within us is great, and infinite intelligence goes beyond the range of our human experience. Yet we can each tap into that wonder. And I know that this service is unfolding just as it is meant to be, that the mighty strength of the One is flowing through this service, and through the consciousness and energy we bring to this center today. I know that there are blessings for each of us here, and that there are blessings for Ruth, practitioner Ruth's words today. And I know her words will guide and uplift us. And I am grateful for this knowing, as we say. And so it is. So my reading today is from a Science of Mind magazine from June 2019. And it's one of the daily guides. And it was written by Dr. Bill Lucken. If you're familiar with the magazine, he does Murphy's Message, what I love because it's supposed to be from the dog, and I love animals. So he did have a quote in there, and it says, "Appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well." And this is titled, "If Not For You." If not for you, there would be a place of emptiness in the heart of God. If not for you, all the good you have done would still need to be done. If not for you, the spark of your ideas would not have ignited a fire in others. If not for you, the key role that you played in life's drama would remain unfulfilled. If not for you, at least one person would not have awakened to their dreams. If not for you, your triumphs could not be examples to inspire others. If not for you, someone who needed love would not have received it. If not for you, a life would have been shortened or maybe never even have existed. If not for you, the song of life would have missed a beat. If not for you, your gifts would remain ungiven. If not for you, another might have suffered in your place. If not for you, someone would have no path to follow. If not for you, there would be one less smile and one less hug. If not for you, there would be one less ember of love to warm the soul. If not for you, an animal might be homeless and a garden left unplanted or untended. If not for you, something would be missing. You have always made a difference. Who you are is important every single day. You are the face, the heart, and the soul of God. Namaste. So I take this candle and hold the high watch throughout the service and throughout the week. Thank you.
Now, I got to tell you, our special music today comes by request. 3 guesses as to who the requester was. But I have to say, I wholeheartedly agree with the choice because the original writer is one of my favorites too, Joni Mitchell. Paved paradise, put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Took all the trees, put them in a tree museum. And they charged the people $1.50 just to see them. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a parking lot. Paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away the DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, but leave me the birds and the bees. Please, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Late last night, I heard that screen door slam, and a big yellow tractor pushed around my house, pushed around my land. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Yeah, they paved paradise, put up a parking lot. Here we go. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
Now, you may wonder why I requested that song. I don't know, it just kept going through my brain. Hi, my name is Ruth. I can always do that and tell who the 12-steppers are. So I'm really grateful to be here and be able to share some of the things that I have learned living in Cuenca, Ecuador. For instance, I learned that mañana does not necessarily mean tomorrow. Can anyone tell me what it really means? Someday. That's right. Okay. So this is our sort of pop quiz time. So would you like to come up, and Susan, and get your treat? Or I'll have Heather be a runner. How's that? Oh, tell me about it.
Oh my goodness gracious me.
So Ecuadorian chocolate. So we moved to Cuenca, Ecuador, late December 2019. If you've never heard that story, ask us. It was an adventure just getting there. Who can tell me what the name Ecuador comes from? Equator. Who? Was that Wanda or Sharon? This is just to make sure you're paying attention. So when we moved there, the closest CSL church is in Lima, Peru, which is sort of a long way to go for a Sunday morning service. So I talked it over with Donna and talked it over the home office and started a study group, which is something that practitioners can do. Now, we're not to give sermons. It's a study group. You choose a topic or an article, and then we get together to discuss it. And so started that in, Dee and I were trying to figure out, but late January 2022. So we've been going a little over 2 years. I just put a notice in a publication called Gringo Post. You can guess who that's directed towards. And miracle of miracles, people showed up. Ernest Holmes said we should be the prayingest people on earth because we know that it works. Well, it worked. My prayers were answered really and in spades. So just to give you an idea of who some of the folks are that show up. So Ed Green and his wife were both practitioners at Jesse Jennings Church in Texas, and they let their licenses lapse, and Elliot died a few years ago, but Ed came, and he's been invaluable because he'd been a practitioner for 30 years, which had me beat by 25 or so. But he's really been invaluable, so when I'm not there, Ed will lead the group. And so that's just been really useful for me. Or he'll do a closing treatment if I just haven't had a chance to write it, or whatever it is. He's just willing to step up. He keeps track of our WhatsApp group. And he's now engaged to a wonderful woman from Venezuela whose name is Osiri. Anybody tell me where the name Osiri comes from? Well, it goes farther back than that. Osiris. Okay, I'll give you one each. Well, one for Paul. Because he got it, half right. Close enough. So then we have Ram Goodman, which I think is a made-up name. You've ever watched Call Saul? It's Saul Goodman. But he has studied a lot of Eastern religions. So he will say something that Ernest Holmes said, well, look, according to Guru so-and-so, that's exactly what he said. So it's been very fascinating to have him there and leading us through different kinds of meditation. Hinduism and Buddhism and affiliated sorts of things. So he's been great. And his girlfriend is Anna Maria, who just works kind of a regular office job, and her passion is jewelry, and she just makes exquisite jewelry. Half the people in the group, or at least the women, have bought pieces. Then we have Danielle. She just lives a couple of blocks away, so when we're not there, they meet at her house. She's French. spent 30 years in Australia, was a amateur champion ballroom dancer. She's 82 years old, and she spends a good portion of her time translating Spanish books into French. So there's a more variety of books in French in Cuenca. I mean, just a fascinating. She's tiny. I mean, she's about this tall, and I bet she weighs 87 pounds, maybe. Which is like my left leg. And she has a lovely home and did it all, but it's, so the people here are fascinating. So then there's Donna, because there are lots of Donnas, and she wrote a book called Never Marry Anyone Crazier Than You Are. Then there's Diana, who drives a little electric scooter. I have a 3-wheeled electric scooter. I'm of an age where 3 wheels seems to be safer than 2. But she told me the other day that the first flight she was ever on was to a Navy boot camp or whatever is the equivalent. And I thought, wow, my first flight I was carried on a pillow by my father, as significantly younger. Alberto comes irregularly. He's an artist and a musician. Right now he's in Loja, which is the 4th largest city and south of where we live. He plays the clarinet beautifully, and so he's playing with the symphony there. His son shows up sometimes too, Mateo, and they both speak pretty good English, because our groups we've done in English because most of them are. But I tell you, technology can be fascinating. Osiri and Ana Maria don't speak a whole lot of English, so they just sit there the whole time with their phones open to Google Translate. And so they can just follow along with what other people are saying. And then when they want to say something, we have a couple of Spanish-speaking people in the group, and so they can do the translation. But if there's a will, there's a way. It's just fascinating. We have a fair number of people in recovery, and so we do a check-in, and we all start off, hi, my name is, and everyone chimes in, well, hi, Osiri, hi, whomever. So it's kind of fun. We have one fellow there that was convicted for dealing drugs and spent at least a few months in jail. His partner really doesn't like one of the women in the group who does talk a lot, so he's been going off to a different meditation group, which is wonderful. Why not keep searching for what meets your needs? I mean, even if you're trying to get away from somebody, what the heck? And we've had people kind of come and go. So we had Lee and his partner and another friend who's deaf. So he also sat there with the phone and could then find out what was going on. Lee's the one, I don't know if I told this story or Donna's telling it, but he was divorcing his wife, figuring out he was gay. He had the kids, and I said, I was just sitting in the living room, and he said, I don't know where, but when I was in my mid-teens, I learned about affirmative prayer, about 5-step treatment. And so he said he had no money, didn't know what he was going to do, and sat there on the couch and did a treatment for abundance and prosperity, and he heard the words rubber stamps. Rubber stamps? Rubber stamps, he said, clear as day. So he went and asked his daughter, what are rubber stamps? And she explained that people use them for doing artsy, craftsy kinds of things. And he went into the rubber stamp business, and he said, I'll never have to work a day. My children will never have to work another day, and my grandchildren will never have to work a day. So kind of a demonstration of how, a really clear demonstration about how affirmative prayer can work. And we all know that anyway. We usually have about 8 to 12 people show up. One time we had 3, another time we had 14, 15, I don't quite remember, which is a good size. You get much bigger than that, and it's hard to hold a discussion. Really, if you have many more than 5 or 6 people, it can be difficult to have a real discussion. So I usually... there are a number of different sources. We did a series one time on the 4 agreements. Okay, who wrote the 4 agreements? I'm getting mixed messages there. How many more do I have? Oh, I got a couple. Don Miguel Ruiz. So who? Oh, back. I'll let you figure it out. I got another one. Okay, and we also used a book called This Thing Called You, written by... I heard Wanda first. Yay! So, having Google Translate, I ended up in a hospital. It's a long, boring story, but I ended up in a hospital in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and people will try to tell you that Portuguese and Spanish are so similar. No. And I was so grateful to have Google Translate because I had no way to communicate with, a few of the doctors spoke some English, but none of the nursing staff did. So boy, if you really need to get to the bathroom quickly and you don't know the word for bathroom, about the only word I did end up learning was obrigado, which is thank you. I figure that's a good thing to learn because the staff really was lovely. So what have I learned from my Cuenca study group? Well, I have learned that even such a diverse group of people from different countries, different languages, different religions, cultures can learn and study and laugh together. Dee doesn't always come to the meetings. She sometimes is sewing or doing something else. She said, boy, you guys are sure laughing a lot today. Well, yeah, because, it's kind of what I do. I've also learned that people can respectfully share their lives and their hearts and their beliefs in a loving manner, a supportive manner. And we don't all agree on politics. We don't all agree on even if Cuenca is the right place to live, but we love each other. And we want to be supportive of one another. And it's just, it's really a lot like this group we support each other here. We love each other here. We try to share what we've learned and known with each other in a positive, loving manner. And what a blessing that is. The first campaign, the first pledge drive that we had here, Donna and I called the Leap of Faith. And I feel that way about this study group I didn't know if anyone was going to show up. I put change your thinking, change your life, and come to this study group, and here it is. I'm putting my address and contact information out there for the world to see, and that's always a little nerve-wracking. And people showed up and continue to show up. But our big news is there's a woman that's moving from a city called Salinas, which is on the coast of Ecuador, to Cuenca. She's a ministerial student. So the first thing that Ed, my practitioner guy, said, oh, a ministerial student means a church. So we're all pretty excited to maybe have this opportunity. I don't know. Today was the first day she was going to be there, and of course I'm not there, so I've talked to her on the phone and texting. But we're all pretty excited to have a ministerial student come along. My mother used to tell me, the good Christian Scientist mother I had, was let go and let God. A friend of mine had a poster, similar sentiment. It said, don't push the river, it flows by itself. And part of it is learning to, we talk about you treat and then move your feet. You just can't sit there hoping that a study group is going to appear in your living room. But to put that out into the universe, to put that kind of request out into the universe has just been a fascinating blessing, because I've had this demonstration that if you put it out there, if you build it, they will come. If you put it out there and you do the work necessary, that people show up. I think it's just really delightful. Who remembers what critter we used in that campaign? Mm-hmm. Nope. Oh boy, I get the candy bar. Are you raising your hand, Gray? No, it's a particular critter we had up in the wall, the frogometer. Oh, what do I get? Oh, sal de Cusco and nibs. Cusco pink salt and nibs. Oh, good, that's one of my favorites. Ha, 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 ha. So we do treatments in the group. One fellow, Ed in particular, when his wife was ill, they got this funny little Chinese electric car because it was just easier to get to her medical appointments all over town. And then he couldn't sell the thing, and someone would say, oh, yes, I want to buy it, and then show up and, with half the amount of money, or say they were going to show up and not show up. And so we did a treatment to sell that funny little car because it's certainly not good on the freeway. And so someone, like the next week, came and bought it and actually had full payment and drove it off, and yay, it happened. So we really try every week. We open by just doing a general check-in, which is great because we've become friends, and it's just nice to catch up with folks. And then we do a meditation. And part of the meditation is, are there any names you'd like to speak into this circle, so that we can hold them in their highest and best good. And it's been really useful for all of us to know that you can make a direct request, knowing that what you ask for may not be what you get, but, Mick Jagger, you'll always get what you need. I figured everyone in here would catch that reference. So, we live in a developing country. We don't call it a third world country, some might, but it's a developing country. And it's got good technology. People have cell phones and do their business. One of the best things are taxis are really cheap. I mean, I can get almost any place in town for less than $3, and most rides are $1.50. Which is interesting. So whether you're going 4 blocks or 4 miles, it's still $1.50. And I don't care because it's so easy, because we just have the one rental car, and Dee was going off to do something, and I first thought was, well, I'll just catch a cab. No. I mean, you just don't go out and wave down a cab here in Green Valley. But it's been nice. It's been nice to really learn that part of that kind of culture. We have learned just fascinating things like we're 3 degrees south of the equator. So what is the difference between the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year? It's 22 minutes. 22 minutes, the difference between the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year in Cuenca. So at 6 o'clock, regardless, it starts getting dark, and it's almost always dark by 6:30, 6:40. And that's kind of when we want to go to bed, but it's a Latin country, so all kinds of wonderful things go on at night. But if you're sleeping, it doesn't do you much good. So in our perfectly imperfect world, here or someplace else, you have a chance to reinvent yourself every day. It's easier if you move someplace where nobody knows you, because then no one's reinforcing those things about yourself you'd rather change. But it really has been fascinating. So I know people that they've never played any kind of sports before in their lives, and now they're pickleball addicts. There's quite the pickleball culture in Cuenca. If you want to do cards, I've started a cribbage group on Tuesday afternoons. So we generally have 6 to 10 people show up, and we play cribbage. And, somebody said, oh, you really beat me on this. And I said, who's going to remember next week? Who cares? So, you can do serious changes to yourself, or you can change your hair color, or, dress differently, or only speak in a foreign language. I mean, you really do have the opportunity to reinvent yourself, which I think is a fascinating opportunity. Okay, there's an archipelago of islands off the coast of Ecuador. What is it? Okay. The Galapagos. This one has Chile in it. Food is not hot and spicy. It's not Mexican food at all. I mean, you might get tostadas or quesadillas, but there's no spice to it at all, disappointingly. Oh well. So members of our study group are artists, they are accountants, they are parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. They cover the gamut of, I mean, in this little group of what human beings can do. And we do so much together. I just love it when I hear people as they leaving say, oh, well, who's going to go to lunch with us over such and such a place? And to build those kinds of relationships within this little group is just truly wonderful. I sometimes don't know what we're going to talk about. I mean, I think about it all week long, and I use a lot of Science of Mind articles, and I really liked that piece that Louise read today. That was great. I'll go back and look at that. So sometimes I go back a couple of years, or sometimes it's current. The Home Office has agreed to give all the members of my group 6-month free digital version of Science of Mind magazine, so that's nice. New members of churches can also get 6-month free for Science of Mind. So if any of you haven't done that, talk to somebody who knows something. So, but every week I put out to Spirit, okay, I need a topic for this week. What's it going to be? And I do have a few books that I've taken, so I'll copy off. Luckily, I feel guilty about it. Luckily, there are no copyright laws in Ecuador, so I can just take a book to a copy shop and they'll run a copy for $3-4, depending on the size of the book, and do it spiral bound, and they're quite nice. So that's an easy way to do it. So there are, again, just these little things that you learn about a new culture. So our Cuenca Center for Spiritual Living Study Group, I think of as a mitzvah. Who knows what mitzvah means?
Like a blessing.
A blessing, that's right. Give the man a bar. Oh. That was a better catch than my throw. So it's been a blessing for me because I get to, well, first of all, I get to lead the group so I can tell people when to be quiet, and that's always a plus, you know. But it's such a blessing to me to have people who are willing to share their thoughts and their background and their beliefs, and we all learn something from each other every week, and I'm just really so grateful to do it. And this center has been so supportive. And Reverend Don has been great because since we have the study group there, this is now an international center. There are not very many of those. So my mother used to also say, love is reflected in love. And I certainly feel that standing right here, that love is reflected in love. And I know that I feel in my delightful little study group. And I thank you very much. Of course, in Ecuador, we might say namaste, which means no more tea. John, I owe you a candy bar. And so, namaste, and thank you.
Well, our wonderful chant. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, am I so happy that you're here today. Please give Ruth another hand. All right. Now, if you'd like to stand, you're welcome to, but this is such a gentle chant. It's so wonderful. And it starts out with, may I be filled with loving kindness, right, et cetera, et cetera. And then we turn to our neighbor and say, may you be filled with loving kindness. And then we acknowledge the whole room, everybody who's in our minds today, with we be filled with loving kindness, okay? May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. Good. Now, put someone in your mind, someone who might not be here in the room with us, or maybe not even in this plane with us, who is just on your heart, on your mind, and let's say we. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. Oh, let's do we again. It's so wonderful. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. Thank you.
Okay. This has been the funnest week because we've had, and by the this is Dee, this is Ruth's partner, and they spent the last week with us, and we have just had so much fun. We're all leaving tomorrow because we're going on vacation, and they're going from here to Missouri and other places. But I'm so happy, and I was telling John that what a blessing for Ruth to come into my life, because I had wanted to do a pledge campaign, and the board was kind of disapproving of it because it was asking for money. So Ruth came from the Seattle church, which asks for money, and she said, well, let's do a pledge campaign. And we went to the board, and she's got more power than I do, so they agreed. And we did this little leap of faith with frogs. And so the frogs got on the lily pads every $5,000, I think. And we had, I said I would never, ever have one of those thermometers, so we had a frogometer. You know? But that was the beginning, and then we had, throughout the years, we've had some wonderful things that Ruth did, and then Don and Lynn have taken it over and done a magnificent job. So we have created a pledge campaign that allows us to go through the summer without lowering our income. And it was the beginnings of that was with Ruth, so I'm very happy. So speaking of all that, it's time for our offering. And won't you join me in our offering affirmation on the left-hand side of our bulletin? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And thank you for your generosity that allows us to be a beneficial presence in this community. Susan, what was the name of the organization? Santa Cruz Training Center. And Susan spoke to us at a board meeting, and they do some wonderful things, so ask Susan about it. But our tithe this month went to them. So, yeah. So we're doing some good stuff in this community, and it's because of you. So thank you so very much. So let's close this portion out in prayer, and then those who shop at Ooh La La, we'll see you. 11:30? Okay, we've got a few minutes. Thank you. They open 11:30 to 1. So you have a chance to shop, okay? So we just take this moment to close this portion out in prayer, to know that right where we are, God is. And in that knowledge, we can speak our word into that law of mind and know that something happens when we do. Just as our beautiful Cuencan study group has just created something fabulous, not only in Cuenca, but for each individual member. The same is true for us. Every day there are demonstrations, as long as we have faith, believe, and know that God is at the center of all things. I give thanks for the opportunity to be here. And I do want to give thanks that former President Trump was not hurt. I think that our country is bigger than that. Our people are bigger than that. And you and I certainly are, and we can start that process. So I simply give thanks for this community, for the community of Cuenca, for Ruth and Dee, and for all the beautiful blessings in my life and yours, as we say together, and so it is. And may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. So let there be